Hey, what's up? Welcome back. Today I'll be doing something different. Today, let's talk about friends. Who are your friends? In which kind of situations do your friends stick with you? So, to get into context, let's just watch this video.
Let's bring in Eddie on this and just passing the microphone to him. Eddie, your approach is rather different. You are inspiring men to open up to other men. But on what basis are you choosing the men to open up to? Because there's also the question of how then do I know I can share certain things with you and not with Dominic? Yeah.
My guiding principle, and it has always been, of course, after learning my lessons through my journey, and for me what stands out is authenticity.
Yeah.
That's for me is the key principle. And you get to that point when you realize that sometimes you might think you have the right people around you, but until you need them, until you fall down and you need somebody to hold you back up, and you see how many reach out down and say, without any expectations from you, and it could be one of the aspects of you realizing and identifying who your closest friends are. And the boys club mentality, of course, comes into play here. And a lot of times you'd find you might have gone through so much. By the time you're settling in and identifying those authentic friends, those authentic boys next to you, until you go through that time is when it actually just materializes. But of course, he's given some very, very important points which are very crucial in knowing how this works out, especially from that bottom top. As it goes, you start eliminating. And also as you go through experiences in life, you start realizing what is more important in your life and who is more important, who matters in your life.
So paint for me a picture then. When you're going through the struggles that you're going through with alcoholism and all that, are they the same friends you have now? Because there was also an issue that he raised of shared history and present values and vices. The boys you had were inspiring you to always call you, Eddie, let's go out. Did you end up dropping them?
Are they the same ones you'd call when you need help?
Fun enough, when you hit rock bottom, you're not the one choosing who will still be your friend.
They choose you now.
They choose you now, depending.
Yeah, and that is very true. I think to everyone. when you go down or when you are going through something, it's not up to you to choose your friends. It's up to them now to start choosing you. Because most of the times you don't even have a say in who will stick around. Most of them, they just get up and go. They wouldn't even show signs of leaving. They'll just drop you like a hot potato and
then
move
what
on.
are you still bringing on the table? I would say there's still friends who hang down with me with all my challenges and all that through my dark clouds and everything. Some of them are still there. But then again, for me, now I have the power to make the choice on who to associate with, because from the lessons that I learned, I now know how authentic friend A is from friend B. And now I have the power to decide, okay, I will associate with this person. I will bring this person closer. I will be much more open with this person. It's the choices now that I'm in a better place to make those choices and those decisions by knowing exactly who's there for me, and vice versa. Then you'll know, of course, who's the authentic friend. And again, authenticity for me is now my number one principle.
So then friendship doesn't have to be a history of some sort. You can meet today
It does.
with someone.
It still does play a role.
Yeah.
But I mean, like my turnaround moment, as I'd mentioned in my Engage talk, I just bumped into a stranger and it happened to be my Damascus moment. So sometimes history, yes, does play a role, but it does happen that you connect with somebody out of the blue. Yeah, and again, in how you connect.
Yeah, I think that is something that happens, especially if he went through something difficult. I think that is something that comes up when you go through something and then you make it, and now you're starting to come back to revive yourself. I think that is almost, it happens to almost everyone. Now you stop caring about, as he's saying, history, about how long you have known people, about who you stop caring about such things. You move on to whoever is just working with you, because when you go down, that's when you realize most of the people who are around you, actually, they don't care too much about you. So when you rise up again, I think that is the kind of the thing he's talking about. When you rise up again, now you stop being too much attached to people and expecting too much from people. Now you just go along with whoever is whoever you connect with without having all that, I don't know, very deep friendship. I don't know, you can say this is my very, very, very best friend. No, you just live on and work with whoever you are connecting or whoever you have something in common with. So let's continue.
It can get complicated explaining it right now, but then again, it does happen when you meet and bump into somebody and you click, and you connect, and there's that possibility too.
All right.
Yeah.
Ahmed, what do you base your friendship on? Because I know you, I've seen you hang around with very senior people. Is it that they're your friends? Does it rub off? Is it a mutually beneficial sort of arrangement? Where do you base your friendship on? And do you have different friends at different stages?
I mean, friendship is not something that you are taught at school. It's something that comes naturally. And a friend is someone, it's not the person you have known longest, it's the person who stuck with you the longest. And it's about, sometimes, of course, there's that human selfishness in us, that you pick your friends according to your needs.
Very true.
But it's something that, it's someone, a friend is someone who will guide you to the right path. In fact, in Islam, for example, you are told to choose your friends wisely. Will this person take you astray, or will this person take you to the right path? So it's a human nature. We pick our friends according to our needs. For example, will this? I mean, I challenge us all. How many of your friends do you know from primary school or secondary school or even university? Some of my university mates, I can't even remember their names. And it was just a few years ago.
Too.
So, and some of them, we still are in contact with each other. So it's not about needs, it's not about personality, it's about your beliefs sometimes, rather than anything else.
All right. Let's pass the mic to Andrew. And I find, Andrew, you have a very vibrant online presence, so to speak. Do you have friends who have the confidence to tell you that tone down on that, or you're doing the right thing, keep going on?
Friendship is overrated, right? As you've said, it's all about convenience. You're with somebody as long as you need them. The day that need stops being there, you're going to find a way of dismissing that person from your life. Don't think that, oh, it's my brother, my sister. Friendship is overrated. And we've been putting so much burden on people for them to be a certain way. Well, us guys are not that way, right? I'm with this girl because I want to be with her for the time I want to be with her. I'm with Eddie. When you went through your issue, how many guys stayed? Right? I think. Yeah, but if you have a boatie, and today you say, I have a boatie, I'm telling you right now, if I say I have a boatie on this station, 3,000 guys will say they're available. But if I tell them Eddie is going through a situation, can we just changia for him 100 bob? The guys will change the station and go to another one. So friendship is overrated, right? But what I say is this, is that I have been through many friends. As in, you come, you get a friend, this friend stays for a particular point in your life. He cannot handle maybe your next level, okay? Because you're going to keep growing. There's some friends that are going to have to drop off. Like when you were in primary, you used to say, oh, this is my friend to death. This one I will never, ever, ever. You guys, from one second term, you've already forgotten about that friend you were saying you'll never, ever forget. All right? Like my dad used to tell me, there'll always be another night to go to carnival. And I'm like, no, Dad, this is the night.
This is it.
Right? So yes, I want us to think that friendship is not a big deal. Right? These are conveniences. When you meet somebody, you do what you can with that person for that time. Beyond that time, it will expire.
So do you have those people who you call when you're going through issues? And are they different people for you, or is it? I
had the unfortunate, or is it fortunate, misfortune of being arrested by the alcohol guys another time when the car was driving itself home. I shouldn't be saying this on national radio, but yes, it happened. So when I picked my phone, I only had one phone call to make. and I had to be sure that this person was going to do what?
Yeah, that time is when you start. You notice that your phone book might have 1,000 people, and that is the time you actually realize, by the way, I know all these people, but very few can come to my help. Not even you have not even gotten to that point of asking. It's now when you're considering. It's when it dawns on you. Actually, very few people on my contact can come to my help. I think that is it gives you a very good insight as to actually all the people you talk to, as to who can actually help you. Because that, I think, the whole point of having friends is to be with, to support each other. But that actually, in such a situation, that's when you realize almost 95% of your contacts are completely useless.
To come through. Because it's very embarrassing to make that call and say, hey, listen, nemeshikwa na alcohol, kuja unitoe. So I looked at my phone and I thought, and I said, there's only one person who keeps coming to mind. That's the guy I called.
Yeah.
And that's the guy who tried to do whatever he could to sort out the situation. Ingawaje nilala ndani juu ya kuwa mjinga. But how many guys, they even did an advert. If today you were to call maybe 5 people and tell them, I'm in a situation, send me 30K, how many would send you?
Maybe not.
0.
Depending.
How many guys right now, if you tell them, you guys nimeshikwa kwa karao, come to Central Police Station, how many would come?
So those
guys will give you all sorts of excuses. Oh,
very few. They'll just go to social media and start giving a second-hand account of what's happening to you. And now people will start giving the teardrop emoji on their post. And they actually, on your own Facebook, they won't visit to kind of check out what's going on with you. They'll just comment to that other third party who just posted about your story, and now they start discussing there. But actually, they are not doing anything to help. And most of them actually, even those who might know you, they are also not doing anything to even shed light on what's going, how they can actually help you. They are just discussing, and this is something that's actually, it's kind of annoying. Like all these. That's why even nowadays I don't go to Facebook too much, because people are just talking. And at the end of the day, you ask yourself, this discussing about someone's problem. Oh, so and so is going through. How does it help when you just go out there? Oh, drop the teardrop emoji. How does that help? Oh, it's completely nonsense.
I'm just about to get into an interview. I'm just about to do this. I'm just about to do that. So friendship is overrated. Don't ever think that friendship goes beyond what you see.
Yeah, I would agree.
Sometimes we get lucky, and you get that one friend who's going to stick closer to you than even your mother. Then you're lucky.
Yeah, actually that
is a whole idea that friendship is what he said. Right now, if you need 10,000, if you're stuck, who will come for you? From my experience, it's more who do you give the 10K to. I think that's the way I choose to see friendship.
Yeah, also that I think Kibe is right, but I also think this guy also comes up with another thing that it gives you another angle to look at things, because even for yourself, when people ask for help, and actually you might have some extra money, or you might have the capability to help, but most of the times you don't help, because you ask yourself that question: who am I giving my help to? Yeah, because that is something. Even without looking at how can they help me back, there is always that one question: who am I helping? Why am I helping this guy? And this is, I think, even most people, I think they ask themselves this question, and this is why some people just stay silent, because they don't want to maybe seem arrogant or rude or non-caring. But I think that is something that people ask themselves when you ask for help. I think that is a legitimate question, actually.
Who would you answer the 10K to? Friendship, just like relationships, anytime you put expectations on them, you're in a lot of trouble. There are a lot of friends who I have helped,
and they have not helped back. There are a lot of friends who helped me and have not helped back. Which one am I a true friend of? In terms of the boys' club, since I'm not looking for a job from any of them, let me say this freely. There are a lot of circumstantial friendships. Yeah, I don't think there are people who say your last friends you formed them at 21. If you look at these gentlemen, they formed their friends in their 50s and 60s. This boys' club, and they are bound by a situation. There's a situation of friendship. I am hard pressed to believe that if any of them lost their rank and profile, they would be in that boys' club.
They wouldn't be in the boys' club.
I highly doubt. I'm just saying, as an outsider, I hope I'm truly wrong. There's a lot of pressure that comes. I mean, of course, there's a network that comes from them sticking together. But if one of them was fired and disbarred or never to make it again, are we saying they will stay in this boys' club? So you need to understand there's a lot of situation of friendship, there's a lot of location of friendship. When you work here at Citizen, there's a best friend you have. If you move to NTV, I really think that friendship will start to dim. So I think I would more focus on what kind of friend am I, as opposed to what kind of friends do I have.
All right, Ahmed?
But I don't think that anyone goes around asking themselves, what kind of friend am I to the other person? I don't think anyone actually asks themselves that. Most often, people look at others and start judging them. They don't judge themselves. Most people just look at others and ask themselves, what is this guy doing in my life? This guy. I think that is how we rate others. We don't rate ourselves when we are mingling with other people.
I mean, Andrew and my friend here, they're both right, but it's not all doom and gloom. People are not created the same. There are some people who are good-hearted. So sometimes you have to ask internally, is it you who changed or is it your friend who changed? Because, I mean, there was this guy, the Githeri man, who was given the HSC, and he was everyone's friend for some time. And now he's languishing in some poverty.
No, but I don't think Githeri man was anyone's friend. He was just being used for clout, basically. Talking about him on social media, and whenever you post about him, people will reply to your post, and people will like or give the teardrop emoji or something. I think that he was just being used by people. Nobody nowhere woke up thinking about Githeri man. He was just used as a meme for entertainment. I don't think anyone actually, even the president calling him to State House, he was not calling him as a friend. He just called him because he was trending at the moment. So the president can also be seen he's noticing. He's not I don't think there's anyone who was serious about him. If anyone was serious about him, he would not be in the station he is right now. So I don't think he was anyone's friend.
And no one, especially the media. The media were his friends, quote unquote, when he was the star. Mm-hmm. But now I don't see any media house looking for him and asking him about his problems at the moment. Mm-hmm. So it's about situation. But there are, like I said, good-hearted people out there. There are some people who will move mountains to make you happy, to make sure that you're okay. I mean, I could be lucky. I have some very good friends that ask me about my family, my kids, and they ask you, please make sure you say hi to your wife and kids, pass our greetings. We're coming over on Friday, for example.
But this is something, I don't think when people ask you about your family, about how are you doing at home, I don't think they are being genuine. Okay, I wouldn't say they are lying to you or they are just acting. But I wouldn't say they are even expecting you to give an answer to the contrary. They are just asking you as a formality, as just to know, just to be friendly. They are not asking you to so that you can tell them you have problems. So now they can start solving them for you. They are just asking you as a by the way, and also to rate and also that they can rate you. They can know if you're having problems. They can know it's time to keep off from this guy. They are not just asking that for the goodness of your kids. They're just asking you so that if you start telling them, oh, my little kid is in the hospital, oh, my wife got fired, now they they start. That's why they are asking. They are actually asking so that they can know if you are doing fine, because people associate with a person who is doing fine. If you start not doing fine, then people will start going away. So they are not asking for so that they have a genuine. Is your kids' health okay? Is your family doing fine? No, they are not asking that so that they can help you solve your problems. They're asking for themselves so that they can know if they can continue being with you or they are supposed to keep away from you.
Today, after the prayers, we have biryani, we come together. And none of us is interested in other person's success or failure or whatever.
So when you come together, what
it's about sharing.
What conversation are you having, even as you have that biryani?
Yes. Before Audrey comes in, I know you will.
No, but I have a question.
Yes.
That friend of yours who's coming over, are they from your religion?
Most of them, but not all of them.
So if today that person was to not be part of a religion, would you still invite them over the same way?
Of course. I mean, part of the boys' club, Jeff Koinange is someone that I call a brother, not even a friend. He's also in my boys' club. We have gone to, for example, Kilimanjaro to have a meal together. And we don't discuss anything. We don't discuss careers. We don't discuss anything.
So what
we
does
just
that
want to have that
conversation look
feel-good lunch. And we have this every Friday. We have
this
there's a
is
circle of fun.
situational, just like Kua said.
Yeah.
If you move from that level and go down, bro, you're out of that boys' club. Don't lie to yourself. That boys' club is dependent until we went to Mount Kilimanjaro.
I think that is very true, and this is something that some people like to delude themselves or to lie to make to have this kind of belief that so and so are my friends. Those guys are they are my friends, but they are not looking at the other thing. It's because you're in the same class. If your class just drops off a little bit. If, say, for example, this Islamic guy, he said that he's friends with Jeff Koinange. If Jeff Koinange is, let's say he starts having some trouble with the law, maybe he's caught up in some scandal and he starts getting arrested or something like that, I don't think they'd be hanging out in Kilimanjaro, as he said. He would... Okay, it's not like he would wake up one day and say, let me start avoiding that guy. It's just naturally, even if you see his phone call, you just think, this guy is, first of all, let him solve his problems. It's not something that you share mutually. It's something that is because of the situation you are in, because you're in the same class. If one of you goes up or one of you goes down, then that's it. It's not... I don't think, as Kibe says, friendship is overrated.
Do you know how much it costs to go to Mount Kilimanjaro?
No, it's not Mount Kilimanjaro.
It's a restaurant. It doesn't matter.
It's a restaurant.
Even Java. Yeah. If you cannot afford Java, you get friendship gone.
But what I'm saying is, Trevor, is it's about us sometimes. It's about our attitude towards other people, honestly. And it's about that positivity mindset.
Okay.
If you have people around you that you think you click together and you talk, and sometimes talking is good, that's all it is. And when you have that senior of biryani and some meat, and you talk and you have a hearty laughter and you talk and you discuss general issues like the weather, for example, and everyone goes their way, that's what friendships are.
No.
But that's what I'm talking about. If you are there eating your biryani, and one of you starts talking about some problems he's having, maybe at home, maybe he's about his health, maybe his finances, I don't think next time you'll invite him. I don't think next time you'll be very interested in inviting him to your dinner. So, as I said, some of these things is which makes some people to believe that, these guys we hang up with is because we are friends. No, it's actually because there is some kind of interest that holds you together. The moment that interest changes or that your classes differ a little bit, then that's when you find you drop some of those friends, or if they move up, they leave you guys there. They don't go up. Now they start having some other friends at that level. So I think Kiba is very
Yes,
right.
basic. So I think at times we started with a narrative when we were young.
Yeah.
We used to have what's called BFF. We had best friends, and so is best friends and all that. And somewhere along the way, we kind of refused to let go of the title of who are your best friends.
Yeah.
I have a very close personal friend who I've not seen for 10 years. But I know when we meet, it'll be like we never unplugged. I have an...
No. That is something that I can assure him. It won't be the same. It can be the same, but especially for a person who you have not seen for 10 years, how sure is he that person is on a level where they are on the same class where they can click? What if that person became a big person and 10 times bigger than him? Because I know this guy is a big guy, but what if he's just a multinational guy? Or what if he's languishing in the slums? I don't think he would he'd be very interested in having such kind of a person around him. But if he's on the same level as him, I think if he was your friend a long time ago, it would click. Because I think in all of us, we have that friend. Maybe you went to school together, he was your best friend. Maybe you went to a different college or a different... these things in life happen. And then you happen to meet them like he said, 10 years. And then you wonder, hey, what happened to this guy? Or you go somewhere and you find that your friend, he became this big guy and he's doing the big things. He's moving. His life is moving in a very good way compared to yours. It doesn't have to be that you are down. But I'm saying if he's too high above it, naturally, there's no way you're going to be friends, to continue to be friends. What happens when you meet after like 10 years? You exchange numbers, you call each other like 1 or 2 times, and then from there, it just dies. You stop liking his post on social media. You stop commenting on them. Even him, he stops messaging you. So I don't think, as Kibe said, most of these things are overrated. They just depend on the situation.
A casual acquaintance that I see every week, who if you see the two of us cackling and laughing, you would imagine we are best friends. Now, what is in my view, my personal view, the defining thing about friendship is acceptance, not similarity. Okay. Acceptance. Because I'm not a neat freak. I have a friend who has OCD. You get? I have a friend who believes in waking up at 4 a.m. This idea, I don't wake up at 4 a.m. Like, so and the idea that somebody can struggle and say Ikua is like that, John is like that, but I take him and he's like that, is the key part of friendship. Going back to what you talk about, what men talk about, this is very important. As men, because we struggle with when you hear when you tell somebody's problems, your problem, it sounds like you're asking for a solution. And also on the other side, when you hear somebody's problem, if you don't have a solution, you become extremely nervous. So why are you telling me? What are we supposed to do? We don't engage like ladies and hug and think it's sharing. Men, sharing means I have a solution. Now, what does that do? We talk about situations which both of us are incapable of solving or influencing. What is that? Sports, women. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you go and talk about in politics, so if you go and sit in a club, a coffee shop, or whatever, people will speak on the most shallow level, yet somebody here is going through depression, somebody here has just lost their job, somebody here doesn't even have money to pay for that very coffee.
Yeah, and I think that is as he said, even random people you meet, I think that is what keeps people working together, because if everyone is talking about their problems or their achievement, if they talk about their problems, you think they need help from you. If they talk about their achievement, you think they are bragging. So that's why people talk about the weather, the politics, the movies, things that both of you, they are there's another side topic, but when you start focusing on yourself, talking about what's going on in your life, people tend to not like. If you invite someone and you start talking about that the whole night, okay, you might mention one or twice, but if it becomes the main topic, next time they are not going to invite you. So there's truth in what he's saying, but also there's a flip side on it.
You will know when you are living. So we and this is what I've been encouraging people around me. There's a saying, when two men meet and no wisdom is shared, those are boys talking. Men have to share wisdom, and it starts with you. As I said, this whole thing starts with you. So for example, when I meet Eddie, when I meet Kibe, we can talk about that girl, we can talk about sports, but if I ask him, I'm really struggling with raising money for my company, what are your thoughts? In that narrative, he can even go and say how he saw Kamau raising money, all that. It didn't even have to be things that progress us. He can say, you know what, my wife snores. What do I do? It can be a rubbish talk, but it's something that helps my natural being. So if we raise the conversation and do a lot of acceptance and understand that...
But I find out, especially nowadays, especially let's talk about Kenyans. Like Kenyans, most of them, if you start talking about such stuff, most of them tend to be negative. Like he's saying, how can I raise money about my company? I can promise you, if you ask such kind of questions, 90% of the answers you are going to get are negative. They are not negative in like, it can be, someone can tell you, I saw so-and-so trying to do that, and this is how far he has gotten with it. No, some people tend to pull out these stories. I don't know from where. I don't know where they get them. Oh, I had this uncle. He has been trying to do that. Now he's broke. He's bankrupt. He's having trouble. And this, if you're from Kenya, you know this is very true. If you ask such a question, you get all those wild stories. And that is why people just tend to talk about football and other things. Because if you actually ask a very real question, even right now, just try it. Go to your social media, go to Facebook and post and ask, I'm having my finances are not very good, but I have like 800K. I was asking, what kind of house can I maybe put up? I'm telling you, 90% of the answers you're going to get are in a way meant to make you even feel worse than you could you could have just thought through the whole process about you building a house alone with you and your wife maybe, than trying to seek people's opinion on it. Because most people will come out with most people will just comment, 800K, that is nothing in today's, you need to have approval from, I don't know, county government. It cost this much. And some others will even come in trying to seek opportunities and they have found out you have 800K. Others will now try, I'm a good contractor. Maybe I can, if you have some time, we can have some coffee. Some people now will even, they say you say you are already had some financial issues, but some people will now even start taking advantage or trying to take advantage of that, even knowing your situation that you're complaining you don't have a lot of money. So this is why people talk about superficial things, talking about the latest movie, talking about the latest in politics, the latest in news. That's why people don't talk about their personal issues, because in today's world, as Kibe said, friendship, if you try to rely on it, you're up for disappointment.
The idea of BFF was a high school and primary thing. There's a friend for everything. I have a friend who I call when I'm stuck in this. I have a friend when I want this. I have a friend for this. The idea that one friend is supposed to understand you and sort out all your realms.
It's unrealistic.
It's unrealistic.
Too much pressure on one person.
Too much pressure on one.
All right.
No, from you personally, you're a media personality. How do you, and like you said, you have probably thousands of followers online and on Facebook and in real life as well. So how do you know your true friends, being someone who is a media personality?
It's impossible for me right now to know who is a true friend, because I don't know who's coming because of where I am right now, or who's just wants to hang out. So, this panel of boys here, if one day we can just be honest and have a real conversation, we would agree that everybody has changed friends maybe 10 times over.
True.
Okay?
Yeah.
All our friendships are situational. Don't ever kid yourself. I'm not trying to bash friendships. There are some friendships that are going to take you to the next level. Right? And there's some friendships that are going to destroy you. But they're situational, based on what you're bringing to the table.
Right.
If you're bringing nothing to the table, nobody wants anything to do with you. Even these guys who come and go to Kibira to give aid, it is out of a selfish need in themselves, not to give. It is a need they are meeting in themselves. The psychologists will tell us.
Yes, and Dominic, that's the thing. Let me come to you.
Yeah, I can agree. On that point of those people who give help and aid, some of the reason why they do that, and you'll see them even after they have given the aid, you'll see them posting in their website, or you went to Kibera, they'll be posting everywhere you went to, because most of these NGOs, they rely on donations, and they don't have money for themselves. So when they post that, now more people will feel the sympathy for them, and they'll get more money to continue doing their work. Even if they are doing it with a very good intention, they still post it so that they can get more money to continue spreading and doing more. Because at the end of the day, now people will start talking about these organizations as doing good. People will start praising them. And now themselves, they will also feel good. Because on the flip side, if they didn't post that and they lost donors, at the end of the day, they feel that they have their disappointment to themselves. So as he said, it's a selfish need. They are doing that. Okay, they are doing it for a good cause, but at the same time, you should not forget that they are also, there's another need for them to succeed in that, even if they are just giving aid. There's that goal they also need to achieve of succeeding, and that's why they are doing that thing. But if let's say in an ideal situation, let's say they just collected money from their donors, they came into the slums, they gave aid, and went away and never spoke about it, I don't think they would be interested in doing that. So it's very right in saying.
Is it?
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Right? So, as long as we know that every time I'm sitting with the Kua, people call me because they think I'm a funny guy, and I'll sit and make jokes, and they can buy me all the alcohol they want. But it is out of their own selfish need, not because they want to please me. You get my point?
You're coming
Right?
as entertainment.
Every time you go even to your mom's house, you're not going because of her. You're going because of you. So, friends.
Yeah, actually, that one I can agree. Even every time you go to see maybe your grandmother, your grandfather, or your auntie or something, afterwards, now you feel, actually it's good. They have seen I care about them. But in the morning when you woke up, you are not actually thinking about that person. Okay, I don't say this that you plan, let me go and feel good about myself. No, it's an internal thing. It's something that happens automatically. After you have gone to see them and you go back to your place, you are no longer thinking about them. I think that this is something to do with nature. Even like when people post their pay bill on Facebook for you to support them, there are many people who send money, but they are not actually sending so that they can see, like we saw with Amosh. He was down, people sent some money, but they were not sending so that they can see him back, he's succeeding. In fact, if he starts succeeding too much, now people will start feeling bad. People will have that kind of, they won't feel very good about it. So in the first place, they were just sending money so that they can feel good in their heart. I sent money to someone who was down, who was in need. So they'll have that feel good feeling.
Relationships are based on who you are. So it is a very selfish need that you're with this person as long as you need them. And the day you stop needing them, my friend, you'll stop calling them your wife, you'll stop calling them your brother, you'll stop calling them You didn't start gossiping.
Okay, so Dominic,
Yes.
as whether we like it or not, what Kibe has said, isn't it not true that you friendships, whether we want to admit it or not, whether you are, Holy Joe or not, that they are situational. I'm friends with Trevor, I'm friends with Dominic, I'm friends with Kibe because I know I'm getting something, whether I know it unconsciously or consciously, and vice versa. They're also friends with me, consciously or unconsciously, because they know they'll get something from Zinzi. So whether we like it or not, is it true that our friendships are situational?
For the same reason we choose the food that we eat. You don't eat anything. You don't put anything in your mouth because you know what to expect from that food. You're not using that food. It's because that food is good for you, right? It's so we are not saying conditional in the sense of manipulation. I think we're using the word condition, I think, both as if to mean manipulating. I'm not there to manipulate you, right? Now, see, when I'm talking to even individuals, I say, and this I mentioned before, that you are going to start attracting people towards you who have similar values like you, or people who are playing to your insecurities. All right. So let's say women who are very good listeners, right, and they tend to attract very bad men because those bad men like to be nurtured. And so you find that very nice women are actually attracting sometimes very bad men who take advantage of their niceness, okay? But sometimes this niceness of women, it comes from their desire to nurture, and because many women tend to have this desire, this false idea that if I love him right, he's going to change or something like that, okay? So basically what I'm saying is when you are with somebody, you are attracting them because they have similar values to you. They make similar choices to you, all right? And you are accepting...
No. I would tend to disagree. Having similar values to you? No, I don't think so. Even I think most of your friends, they have a very different personality with you. Because you, as they were saying before, those people are there because of a reason. They are there for what you can offer. What you offer them. And this happens, say for example, you are working somewhere, you are new at a job somewhere. It's most likely that you're going to become friends with a few people there, not all of them, a few of them, because there's something they are offering for you that, you need it or it's beneficial to you. Let's say, for example, you are late. There's this guy who I can call and he can cover for me. And there's this guy is a total... you can't even consider calling that person. So there's no need for you to have to be friends with that guy, even if no matter how good he is, as long as he's not helping you, he's not going to be your friend. And the moment you move out from that company, even those guys who are very good to you, or guys who are maybe there or something they were offering for you, you move out from that company, you go to another location, then they stop being your friends because, as Kibe said, you no longer need them. Because when you are in another town, in another job, what else are you doing talking to these guys? Maybe when you're having some beer, as he said, you can just call one of them and you just chuckle. And when you call them, you don't expect them to now come start talking about things... deep things. No, you just come watch football and go home and entertain yourself and go home. There's nothing deep as some of these, like this is I don't know, he's a professional in these things, but I don't think it's that deep. I think it's actually very simple. If there's nothing that person is offering for you in whatever form, whether it's financial, whether it's favors, whether it's just even entertainment, as he said, as Kiba said, maybe some of your friends call you for a beer so that you can just entertain them. But say, for example, they know that when they call you, you're just coming there, you start complaining about things that are happening in your life. They won't call you next time because they no longer need you. They don't need you there for that purpose. So some of these psychologists might... be wrong on
them
something.
Into your circle because you're also moving towards a certain direction and you want them to assist you in that direction, not because you're using them, because it's a give and take. It's I'm giving my 100%, you're giving your 100%. If you're not willing to do that, then there's no point of us being together. It's not using.
Right. Kimani is quiet. I say you not.
But I don't think at the same time the way he said about offering and receiving, even for you to offer something, there's something you are looking for in return. As I said, maybe you are at work, there's that guy who I can call, he can cover for me. But if you know if he covers for you a few times, if he calls you now for you to cover for him, you can, you will be willing to do that. But let's say you call a person, he covers for you, and then next time when he needs you're not willing to do that. Then next time when you call them, you might find they also change their mind, because the first thing you look at is for yourself. What am I getting out of this? Even when someone loans you money, or when someone asks you to loan you, to give them some money, to lend them some money, there are so many considerations to give, to consider even before giving the money. You might ask yourself, actually, this person, even there is a person whom you give money and you know that money is never coming back. But maybe that guy, when you go to have a beer, you always call him and he entertains you. Or maybe when you need something else, maybe when you go into his area, maybe there's some other, he's helping you in some other kind of way, even if you know you'll give him money and he's going. But if you look closely, there's something you gain. Or even as he was talking about aid, there's someone you'll give money so that you know, this guy, I just gave him money. You'll feel good. This sumbua nimempatia pesa. So I think that is something to consider.
As Dominic was discussing.
I think friendship, just like parenthood, has no manual. Unfortunately, there's no reference book of how to choose your friends or how not to choose your friends. But like I said, I tend to be a positive person, and the narrative that the stronger you are with a friend, the stronger you bond, might be right and it might be wrong. There's someone that you meet for a week and they're like, wow, this guy actually is God sent. But there's also that humanity aspect of friendship. If you have friends who, like they said, like both of my friends said now, what do you bring on the table? If you think humanity, for example, and you a person who always sees the good in people, then you will have, I mean, I don't know if there's any other words apart from friends that we can use, but you'll have people that you warm up to. There's people who will warm up to you. So sometimes you're in a calling. For example, in politics, there are some people who are your friends for that period of time, the campaigning time. But after they got elected into office, you're no longer there. Your phone will stop being picked. And I have seen that. I've been in politics. I've campaigned for some people. And the moment they step into parliament or county assembly, they're no longer your friends. They have new friends,
because they don't
new
need
members
you.
of parliaments, new members of county assembly. So, but despite that, you'll have to continue to, it's not about surviving, but about thriving. Yeah. You'll have to continue with your humanity aspect, with your positivity. And then some people will drop and some people will stay. So it's about your values again, and what you stand for as a human being.
Yeah. Let's bring in Kibe behind you, Dominic, then I'll come to you in just a bit. But Kibe, you say that this friendship is overrated. Do you think you are a true friend to someone? And if you think you're a true friend to someone, what makes you...
I don't think... okay, I don't know him personally, but from how he talks and from the... even just from how he talks, this guy, I would like to be his friend, but I know, I can be 1,000% sure that this guy cares about no one. No, that is something that I can be free to say.
Wow, why is that?
I'm not a true friend because there's some things if you do, bro, me, I'm out. Right? Yeah, there's some things you'll do. I mean, I'll draw the line and say, that one, bro, you're on your own, I've tried. Okay?
So then you don't even try and inspire them to change. You try to...
Oh, no, that's your business. You know me, I'm not God. Eh? I'm not God. I'm not coming here to change people. I'm just coming here to be, exist, get out. Okay? So how you are is based on what I need.
Okay.
So this is my friendship. Friendship according to Kibe 101. I choose what I don't have in my friends. what is inadequate in me, those are my friends. The ones who are going to bring
agree.
that thing that I don't have. Okay? Like I procrastinate like crazy. Like crazy. You guys can sit like a crocodile for days. Just going to the loo and eating and watching Netflix, right? Or whatever it is you guys are watching. So I need somebody who's going to be the exact opposite of me. Who's going to push me to do a lot of these other things.
You see, you're looking for
Right?
someone to push you. Do you push your
Do you-
friends?
yeah.
Do you
Of course
inspire them?
not.
You know, you say you're not
Of
God.
course not.
Fine, but
Again,
do you do the
remember,
same?
I said I'm not a good friend, right?
And I think okay, there's a positive side of being like this, and there's a negative side. The positive side is that this guy will never fake it. Whenever you're having a problem, you'll know, that guy, I cannot even dare call him, he won't help me. And that is actually very good. It's better to be friends with such a guy whom you know. Whenever you're having problems, it's better not to contact him. But when you're having a party or something, you can call him for entertainment. Rather than those people who pretend, as I was talking earlier, those people who go to post your story on Facebook so that they can get many likes and comments and whatever. And actually on the ground, they are doing nothing. It's rather, this guy, when I call him, he won't help me. Or even if you are working with him, let's say you are in the same radio station with him or something, you know that when I call this guy to handle some matters, and I'm sure you also have such kind of friends that maybe you are working with them, you call them, you tell them, maybe, can you sign for me something, or can you do something? They'll actually say, yeah. And then later afterwards, you find out they won't do it. And if you call them, they say, I forgot I did something. But you see, they are on the same level with this kind of guy. They don't care, but they're actually pretending to care. So I'd rather he's honest.
I'm not there to
this.
inspire people. Me, I'm there to, you have something I need, let us use that. Now, unfortunately, and if you don't know this is all of us. Now, we don't want to accept that because you want to think you're a better person than you really are. You're not. You're an evil human being. We're all evil. We're all using each other for the moment that we have. Now, once we understand that, that's why even marriages, and that's why I respect Muslims so much, because for them, when they're going to marriage, it's an arrangement. Feelings keep for your nyanye. It's an arrangement. This is what we're going to do. Right?
Yeah.
Same thing that even the Indians were able to do what? Were able to, with the arranged marriage. They knew these two people are going to be good together and they're going to get nice looking children.
Yeah.
You
it's
Kenyans
not
came here,
about
you are lied
convenience.
to, and you're now going for love. How many are breaking up?
So you don't even believe there's such a thing as love then?
No, love doesn't exist. Love is unconditional. Who can right now stand in front of a gun right now for you?
No one.
Who?
Your mom?
Of course not. She's going to negotiate, but she wouldn't stand in front of the gun. She's going to negotiate with the gunman.
Would you stand in front of
Of
someone?
course not.
for
I would
someone?
not stand in front of even of my kids.
What? Stupid.
I'm trying to tell you, the selfishness inside the human being cannot allow us to be true to one another. But one day, maybe, we shall be able to tell the truth even on national television and say, friendships don't work. And because friendships don't work, then some things like marriages also might not work.
So what do you
Yet-
propose? People live on their own?
I'm saying that people just exist. Like now, Ikua, I've known him how many? Over 20 years.
Yeah.
Same thing with, I've known them, Kimani, for many years, but we shall meet, drink, nini. I know nothing about him. I saw about him on the internet. And I was like, oh man, he's so sad. Okay, now moving on.
Yeah, and I would say that is very true. Even to many people, even those people who pretend and send you messages, oh, we are putting you in our thoughts and our prayers, which is that's a flat lie. No one is waking up in their thoughts, oh, this guy is going through some problems. No one is doing that. They are just lying to you. Okay, maybe when they are home, they can discuss with whoever may be their wife. So-and-so is going through some problems. They discuss, but they are not discussing how to come and help you solve it. They are just discussing it so that maybe they can check out themselves out how not to get into such problems as you. But they won't be like the way people say, as I said, we are putting you in our thoughts and our prayers. How many of those people who put you in their thoughts and prayers actually come back and tell you, after putting you into much of our thoughts and our prayers, I think I have come up with this suggestion of how to solve your problems. How many? No, this is zero. So when they say they are thinking about you, actually, what does thinking about you help you with to solve your problems? It's nothing. They're just being selfish and saying and lying to you that they are thinking. There's no one who is waking up thinking about your problems. They're just posting, as I said, they're just posting it whenever they go to a bar or in their workplace. That's when they will discuss with their workmates. So and so is going through some problems, but there's nothing that will come out of that conversation as to how to help you. Nothing, unless they do it out of their own, as he said, selfish need. Some people might come together and say, hey, like people do at work. You have seen these cards being passed around at work. I don't know, you are contributing. I don't know, to someone has a barrier or something you are giving to them, but you even find some people complaining, these cards, they have become too much because they don't care about whoever you are burying. Those are your problems. You are actually disturbing them by bringing those cards to the workplace for them to contribute to. So I think he's very right, but let's
all
continue.
this time you knew him.
Bro, so you whose wife has died? Oh, so sad, so sad. Okay, now what's on Netflix? You get my point?
Yeah.
Right? Because me and him are not in the same space. Coffin makers have friends who are coffin makers. Pilots don't hang out with anybody else but what? But pilots, because you hang out with somebody based on what? On your situation. The day you're parking boys don't hang out with Akina Jeff. They hang out with other parking boys. Don't be lied to. You are right where you are because of your situation. The day your situation changes,
And the situation is your pocket.
Yeah, and this is very true. Like those guys who maybe you are in school together, and then maybe their life didn't go so well. Maybe they are still hanging around in their local area. That's why you find them seated somewhere talking. This guy is talking about you negatively because they are hanging out with other people who are also in the same kind of bad situation. Okay, let me use the word bad situation, although you cannot judge someone's class. See, they are hanging out around with people with the same kind of feelings, who feel that people who have maybe succeeded a little bit, not even like you have boomed. It's just maybe you have not had a very big, that. They are hanging out with people who have those kind of negative feelings towards people who have maybe not even had a bad any kind of like a big bump in their life, and that's very true. The same with success people. That's why they live in gated communities, because they don't want to be associated with you other guys there who are having all manner of other problems. Then they live in a gated communities, and even when they live there, they are not like going in each other's houses. Everyone is staying alone, but at least when they stay there, they know at least the next door neighbor, maybe he the kind of problems he has, they won't affect him directly. He wouldn't want to go and live in the middle of a slum, because then all the people around him will start disturbing him with all manner of problems. So I think actually I like this
friends
debate.
there, you get new friends. Are we together?
Let me respond to Kibe.
Dominic, what you're saying also makes sense, because you said that when you realize you're in a group of 5 people and you're the smartest, it's time to move away from that group.
Correct.
So then it's all about you. It's not about the group. You're not trying to empower the group.
Yeah, it's
you're
all
trying to
about
be
you.
empowered even more. That's why you're leaving that. Okay, wind up.
Is there a question?
No, just finish up on this friendship issue. How do we take it forward, or should people just continue existing like you say?
A lot of us have gone through a lot of heartbreak by expecting someone to behave a certain way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Expecting someone to behave in a certain way. And this is why you see even like on Facebook, every day, there's someone who is complaining about someone in their life, about them not helping them, or not even directly helping them, or of you being, as they would say, not caring so much about them. That's why you see, if you scroll on Facebook, you can't go like 10 posts without seeing someone complaining about another person. And this is primarily because of themselves expecting, like, giving another person, they're expecting this kind of they're expecting too much from the person, and the person, on the other hand, he doesn't care too much. And this is a reality, which is, as Kiba said, this is, everyone is evil. No one cares too much about the other person. People just care to a degree of, as he said, what you are bringing on the table. If you're not offering anything, if for you is take, then it's very likely that that person won't be won't be very welcoming for you. He won't like your presence around his life. So that's why you find people complaining all the time. People, oh, I have this uncle who is very successful. He's not helping me. Yes, there's a reason, because for him, you are a hindrance. You are a disturbance in his life, and there's nothing you're offering. You're just going there begging. And no one likes someone who keeps begging from them. As I said, when you saw with Omosh, when he started, he begged the first time. Then he went down. He came to beg another time. People now are complaining. Ash, what are you talking about? We actually don't care about you that much. So that's very true.
If you buy a lorry, you know it will never go as fast as a Mercedes-Benz, right? You need to be conscious of who this person is in your life. You need to understand, what is this person bringing to my life? What you're bringing to them, that's up to them. Yeah. Right? Let's not be Ukuma that there's everybody wondering, what am I bringing to the table? No. What is this person bringing to the table? When you see somebody going to a church, there's something they're getting from that church. You may think of them as being stupid or foolish. When you see them being asked for 310 and all these are nonsense, right? And you say, this person is very thick. No, there's a value they're getting. So my work is not to wonder what value you're getting from my friendship. My work is to wonder, what are you bringing to the table?
And I think in hindsight, most people, that is the way most people work. And the moment you realize that is when you'll stop suffering from these heartbreaks, and you'll stop going to online or whatever to post about heartbreaks, because that is when you realize that everyone is selfish, and they just, as they said, you should care more about what you are getting than what you are offering. And this is why when earlier, when they were giving the example of if you call someone when you have a problem, how many people will help you? It's because most of them ask themselves, what am I getting from helping this guy? As I gave the Omosha example earlier, when you see the pay bill being posted online, when you are going to your M-Pesa to send that money, you ask yourself, what am I getting from this? Because this is just the same as throwing money in the toilet. There is nothing you're getting out of it. Okay, there are some people who send because they'll feel good. I'm not useless in this world. I'm actually helping someone. But when you think deeply about it, you actually ask yourself, if I send him my 100, what am I getting from it? It's nothing. It's better I buy credit or I do something else with it in my life. I think.
Okay?
So
right. At that selfish point and that selfish level, I'm able to be of more benefit to you.
How?
As long as I am selfish, then I am able to do exactly what I want to do. That means that you are able to get as much value from me as possible. It's complicated, don't ask. My point here is this. Understand everybody, the part they play in your life, and you'll be a better person. Don't delude yourself and say, oh, my friendships are so solid. Bro, they're not. They're not. Now, men, when you sit down next time, you sit down with Eddie, Eddie tells you a problem. He's telling you a problem because he wants to find out, can you sort my issue out? If you can't sort my issue out, who will? Men, we don't talk about our problems unless we need a solution.
Okay.
Right? Let's talk. If you can't sort out my situation, who will? You tell me, okay, I know a guy. Let's call that guy. Let's fix the problem. That's why when a woman comes to tell you her problems, you always rush to sort out her situation, and really, she just wants to talk.
Okay. That's smiling.
Yeah, I would agree with him. When people talk about their problems, they are looking for a solution. They are not just talking about it as entertainment. Even if it's not you direct, like, you might call your friend and he might tell you, hey, nowadays I'm jobless. I don't have a job. I lost my job. He knows maybe you are not in a capacity to get him a job or to give him a connection, but he's looking for you maybe to make a suggestion that might actually click him, help him to come up with a solution to that kind of. Maybe you might tell him, and these days, by the way, I have seen if you try to do this and this, maybe it can help you. You see, you have not offered them any kind of a job. You have not given them any connection, but you have given them an idea. Have you ever tried selling this and this and this online, or maybe then at that point, then they come up with you might actually help them that way. But they are not maybe asking you because they know you are a big person. No. They're asking you when they talk about their problems. They are talking about them so that they can hear how can you help them, or who do you know who can sort out that problem in
Then
their
that is
life.
the easiest test. But also, don't go in there with huge expectations that you would, because you're my friend and you hang out with me, if I call you, you can give me 10,000 bob. I'm setting up, I'm going to miss out on all of you just because you didn't have that money for me. So my idea is be the friend you're looking for.
All right.
And expect nothing.
Expect nothing
Yeah,
in return.
right.
Kibe disagrees, but that's where we have to leave this discussion now. Let's bring in.
Yeah, I think that was a good debate, but as the guy ended up saying, I don't also think it's about financial. There are some people in your life who are your friends, and you know that guy is glue. You can never get any money from them, even if you have a very even if you are with them, you have just gotten paid, you are from the bank with them, and you get hit by a motorbike and you need to go to hospital, and you know they have money. They can't, you can't extract any money from them, even if you promise to pay them 3 times, but they are actually your friends. So it's not about financial. There are people whom you know in your life. When it comes to this aspect, even they are friends that you are very close friends with that person, but there are some things you can't even talk to them about because when it comes to this aspect, this person regarding that issue, no. But it's even some things that occur in your life, and you know directly who to call. Even when you don't need to scroll through your phone, if this and this is happening in my life, this is the person to call. Even when you say, for example, even not negative things. Say, for example, even when you get a job promotion or when you move to a better job, there are those people who are your friends, but you can't actually, you are even scared of telling them, because then you know their reaction won't be very nice, or they won't be very happy about it. But there are still people in your life whom you keep texting each other and calling each other, and that's why I like the way Kibe summarizes it. Friendship is overrated. You should just exist and not pay much attention to these friendships. They're just situational. When your situation changes, then it's done. But anyway, go in the comment section and let me know what you think about this topic and how we have reviewed it. And if you are not subscribed, kindly do so that each time I post, you can get to see my videos. And until next time, be safe. Peace.